In the annals of World War II, Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery is a towering figure, the hero of El Alamein, the man who defeated Rommel. But there's a lesser-known chapter in his story, a battle where his ambition and ego nearly ended his career and fractured the Allied command. This is the story of Operation Market Garden, the battle Monty took credit for, but which almost got him fired. September 1944. The Allies have broken out of Normandy and are racing across France. The end of the war feels tantalizingly close. At the forefront of this optimism is Montgomery. He proposes a bold, audacious plan, Operation Market Garden. The idea was to use a massive airborne force, the Market Part, to seize a series of key bridges in the Netherlands. Then a powerful armored column, the Garden, would race up a single highway, link up with the paratroopers, and thrust deep into Germany's industrial heartland, the Ruhr Valley. Monty famously wagered it could end the war by Christmas. It was a classic Montgomery plan, daring, single-minded, and incredibly risky. It relied on everything going perfectly. The paratroopers had to land accurately and hold the bridges against German resistance. The ground forces had to advance 64 miles in just 2 days along a narrow, easily defended road. Many in the Allied high command, including American generals like Bradley and Patton, were skeptical. They favored a broad front advance, rather than putting all their eggs in one British basket. But Montgomery had the ear of the Supreme Commander, Dwight D. Eisenhower. Ike, ever the diplomat, was trying to manage the clashing egos of his generals. He saw Market Garden as a way to placate Monty and potentially achieve a breakthrough. He gave the green light. The largest airborne operation in history was on. On September 17th, the skies over Holland filled with planes and gliders. The initial landings went well. The American 101st and 82nd Airborne Divisions captured their bridges at Eindhoven and Nijmegen. But the British 1st Airborne, tasked with seizing the final, crucial bridge at Arnhemthe, infamous Bridge Too Far, ran into immediate trouble. They had landed too far from their objective and faced unexpectedly fierce resistance from 2 SS Panzer divisions, which Allied intelligence had tragically missed. Meanwhile, the ground advance, Montgomery's the 30th Corps, crawled forward. The single road, nicknamed Hell's Highway, became a shooting gallery for German defenders. They blew up bridges, ambushed convoys, and stalled the armored column for critical days. The meticulously planned timetable fell apart. At Arnhem, the British paratroopers fought with incredible bravery, but they were isolated and overwhelmed. For 9 days, they held out in a desperate pocket, hoping for a relief that never came. The radio link to the main force failed, leaving them completely cut off. The battle for the bridge at Arnhem was lost. Of the 10,000 men of the British 1st Airborne who landed, less than 2,500 escaped. The rest were killed, wounded, or captured. Operation Market Garden was a catastrophic failure. So, where does Montgomery's near-firing come into it? In the aftermath, instead of admitting the plan's flaws, Montgomery did the opposite. He declared Market Garden to be 90% successful. He praised the performance of his troops, which was true, but completely glossed over the strategic disaster. He blamed bad luck, the weather, and even the lack of fighting spirit. Of the American 82nd Airborne, a claim that was not only false, but deeply insulting to the American soldiers who fought and died on Hell's Highway. This infuriated the American generals. Bradley was livid. Patton was apoplectic. But the breaking point came at a press conference a few months later after the Battle of the Bulge. Montgomery, having been given temporary command of American forces on the northern shoulder of the Bulge, publicly claimed he had single-handedly rescued the disorganized Americans and won the battle. He portrayed himself as the cool-headed master strategist, cleaning up an American mess. This was the final straw. American command was in an uproar. Eisenhower was enraged by Monty's gall and the damage he was doing to Allied unity. He drafted a cable to the combined chiefs of staff, a message that would have effectively fired Montgomery. He wrote that the only way to maintain harmony was to send Monty back to Britain. But before sending it, Ike's chief of staff, Walter Bedell Smith, convinced him to give Montgomery one last chance to apologize. Confronted with the very real prospect of being sacked, Montgomery finally backed down and issued a clarification. His career was saved, but his reputation among his American colleagues was permanently tarnished. The story of Market Garden isn't just a tale of a failed battle. It's a powerful lesson in leadership, hubris, and the friction that can exist even among allies. It shows how a brilliant military mind could be so blinded by ambition that he failed to see the flaws in his own plan, and refused to accept responsibility when it all went wrong. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this piece of hidden history, make sure to like and subscribe for more.